I was speechless yesterday. Not anymore. I got takes.
Lucky us.
Lucky?
This is the Buffalo Plus Podcast.
Welcome back to the Buffalo Plus Podcast. Mike Catalana, Dan Fates. I am Jenna Cottrell. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. All right, we are not in the Connors and Ferris podcast studio, but we are here.
In the building.
In Orchard Park. Mike, we're going to talk about it. The injuries, the urgency. We're going to talk about Brandin Cooks being in Buffalo. Daniel here has a ton of hot takes, so I can only imagine what we're in store for today.
Been simmering like the food for Thanksgiving for everybody.
Yes.
It's just the stuffing, everything ready to go.
Yeah,
Dan's
you definitely
like,
want to have stuffing simmering.
I guess it doesn't simmer,
probably
does it?
gravy. Yeah, it's okay.
That's what I meant,
Yes.
gravy. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, by
Yes.
the way.
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving to you and yours. Healthy, happy, all that great stuff.
I don't cook,
We're thankful
by
for
the way.
you.
I was just saying, we
thankful
are
for you.
very thankful for you.
Yes.
Okay, let's get into the urgency piece, because I thought that was pretty interesting. We've heard it all season long, but now we're getting into late November. December's around the corner. This team needs to start winning games.
All they got to do is look at the standings. And I know these guys sometimes will talk about a game at a time and all those things. Come on, at some point, you know where you are. They're in the last playoff spot now. They're playing a team that they may be battling for a playoff spot. They got to get head-to-head wins. Like, we can sit there and say it's week to week. Yes, if you keep winning games, then that sounds fine. When you've lost a few, it puts you in a spot. They need more of that, especially on the road, especially with what they're facing this week with their own internal issues.
Yeah. Desperate is probably the wrong word, and I think maybe the question was kind of posed, like, are you a desperate team, or things like that. That was kind of the mood around at least the media today. And Sean kind of said it's more urgency. It's, you know, we know where we are. Josh said it too. There's a very high sense of urgency, knowing where they are, and Sean being like, we're in it, and it's fun to be in it. I tweeted that out. People didn't seem to like that, but Sean understanding, like, this is different than years past, because most of the time this year, the division's locked up. That is not the case this year. Now it is battling for wild card spot. And like you said, Mike, this game in Pittsburgh feels very must win. Not in the sense of it feels must win, because it's also big for tiebreaker in seeding and all of those things.
I would say
because
it's a very
you're going
important
head to head
win.
against Pittsburgh for wild card spots.
You look
Just
at
the way you said it. Is it must win?
Yeah, I didn't say it with my
not.
chest. That wasn't a take. I got other ones.
He's got other takes. And of course it is. The one advantage the Bills have, like, they have beaten Baltimore. They have beaten Kansas City.
Yeah.
Kansas City doesn't seem to have the advantage over anybody in terms of head-to-head, I guess, except the Colts. Who could fall out of the division lead, right? That
Jags,
could happen. So all of those things are important as we progress. But come on, the reality is they're coming off a bad loss. They're 7-4. They need a victory badly, and they're going on the road, a place they haven't been that great.
And a place that they've obviously struggled on the road just in general. We
Yeah.
talked about the stat of
Yeah.
11-12 since 2023 when on the road. I think injuries are another important part of this because once again today was a longer injury report. Something to note, Dion Dawkins did not practice today. He is now in concussion protocol. He was cleared during the game against the Texans, and then later on.
Dr. Mike, I said, do you guys know, I talked to him, and I just felt like, I know the way Dion is. I probably talked to him after just about every game.
Yeah.
And he just didn't seem the same. And then people commented on plays during the game or where he wasn't right. And he
penalty
had
at
the
the
penalty
end.
at the end of the game. Reasons, not excuses, but I didn't think he seemed right. Just because you get checked and cleared, that doesn't necessarily blame the doctors. It is not an exact science when they're trying to determine.
Correct.
He got up the next day, much like A.J. Epinesa did in the
Yeah.
Kansas City game, and he just wasn't right. I'm going to tell you, we're recording this on Wednesday afternoon. I don't know where he is going to be. If he's not out on the field, unlike Max Hairston with a concussion, who was out there limited
today
and
on
Max
Wednesday.
had a concussion in that game. Dion doesn't miss games.
Nope.
He really
He's missed,
doesn't.
what, 2? In 2022, he missed 2, I think, due to injury. He came out of the Detroit game.
Yeah,
And I think he
ankle.
missed either 1 or 2 at that point. He's always out there. And you already are having an issue on the other tackles.
Yeah, I was going to say Spencer Brown dealing with a shoulder injury. Terrell Bernard did not practice today. Dalton Kincaid did not practice as well.
Asked if Kincaid, there was a possibility of him playing. I think Sean said we'll see about every single player, whether it was about an IR stint or anything like that. But hopefully you get Kincaid back as a possibility. Sean was asked about it, said we'll see.
I mean, it's so tough because, and look, I totally get it. At this point in the season, there are injuries that stack up on every single team. But it feels like for this Bills team, especially on the defensive side of the ball, a lot of starters. And now looking at the offensive side of the ball, the questions of, will Dion be ready? Will Spencer Brown be ready? We already know Dalton Kincaid's not looking likely at this moment on Wednesday. Those are some big-name guys on this team.
Well, and to go back to the point of when you're talking about Dion and Spencer Brown, and I know a lot of you guys are down on the offensive line. I mean, they have not been as good maybe this year, but they're still a damn good offensive line.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they had a rough day. But we're talking about Josh Allen being protected against T.J. Watt and a Steelers team that should be better at rushing the passer.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the 2 tackles. Like I said, the Bills don't normally play that way. This puts a lot of pressure on whatever they decide to do. And, Ryan Vandermark and, we'll see who ends up.
Tylen
Grable, maybe.
Alec Anderson.
Alec Anderson, right? All of these guys in the mix to see who plays. That is very big coming into this game because we're not talking about just like a pass catcher or a running back. We're talking about the guys who protect Josh, and Josh took a beating last week.
Yeah.
Especially last week, we talked to David Edwards today. We don't normally talk to him.
Great talker.
Phenomenal. And he gave some perspective about being a competitor and handling that Texans game where, again, you were critical, the national media was critical, D'Amico Ryans was even critical, saying, can't believe that they just put it all on Josh's plate and only blocked with 5. Here's what David Edwards had to say about that game and bouncing back.
Yeah, I mean, as a competitor, you never want to have games like that, right? You always want to put your best foot forward. You always want to have, we talk about competitive excellence and toughness here, and when you're faced with a good defense and a good front, like you want to put your best foot forward at all times. And so, just as a competitor, you want to be able to go back out there and show who you truly are. I don't feel like that was really a reflection of who we are. And certainly you got to give a lot of credit to the Texans and those players. They got a great scheme and they got great players, but I know what we're capable of. I know what we've proven, and I feel like we're going to respond the right way.
That was the first time we've heard somebody be like, it wasn't acceptable, but that's not us, and that we feel we will respond.
And they took it personally.
It felt like a real answer.
Yeah.
It did.
Sometimes, and I get it,
Especially after a game.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
it's-
immediate reaction.
yeah.
We got to be better. We got to look at the tape. That's not us. But it felt like he's like, yeah, we are better than that.
Yes.
It sucks
That
when
wasn't
you
a real
see Josh.
reflection of us.
Yeah, it
Yes.
felt like there was actual perspective in there, which I understand. Not every player has the time right after a game to do that, but it felt authentic in that way.
And take the offensive line taking it personally when Josh gets sacked 8 times, hit 12,
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. Mike, you were kind of talking about it with him, and his answer was, we know not how much Josh just means to the team, but to this organization and to the city of
Yeah.
Buffalo. Like, that was
Yeah.
one of those things, like, we kind of let this area down with our performance
Yeah.
in Houston. And again, the Texans are a really good defensive line. You don't need me to say that. Like, that is legit, but maybe that wasn't a bad day paired with a bad plan against a really good defense is a recipe for that kind of a game.
Yeah, I mean,
I would say this. If somehow they matched up with the Texans again, it would be a really tough matchup. This offensive line would play better. I think
Yeah.
the plan would be different. I
Yeah.
think they would approach it on a more holistic way of it doesn't matter how you get the protection done, you got to get it done.
we will talk about Brandin Cooks in a
Yep.
second, but we also got to hear from Josh Allen today, who was on the injury report, but a full participant. Soreness.
General soreness?
General soreness.
He was in the Civil War, wasn't he?
General soreness.
I do think that's funny. But we got to hear from Josh after practice, and I was genuinely, he felt very refreshed in a way I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, he talked about the weekend going back to Wyoming and Laramie was kind of that reset.
I'm just hitting on all of them. I said that to you the other day. I think that was big for
You say a
Josh.
lot.
Come on.
We talked
I'm
about-
hitting-
yeah,
I'm-
about-
I'm- I said that I thought him going back to Wyoming, just listening to the way he talked to that team,
about that he embraced
he was gonna
losing-
be
yeah,
refreshed.
the way that
Yeah.
he felt after a
He was
loss.
refreshed.
Gave him
You know, I
goosebumps.
think it gave him perspective, though.
Well, maybe he didn't have it until he watched us say that on the Buffalo
Maybe
Plus
not,
YouTube
He
but
channel.
likes, comments, and subscribes.
We already know that,
Yeah.
yeah. But I do think that offered him the chance to look back at everything he has accomplished in his career, which has been a lot, because I think his confidence, understandably, might have been just a little bit shaken, in my opinion, I know you're going to say he's Josh Bleepin Allen, and I believe in all that. But I think for him, it was a moment to, A, take a step back, B, with the people he loves, and C, remind him of what football means to him and the incredible player that he is.
It's funny because I look at this too as we look at the playoff picture, the big urgency and all these kind of things. And if the Bills didn't have that past and the AFC Championship games the last 5, AFC East titles the last 5 years and all these things, and you were just to look at this season, the Bills are in with the Jaguars. They're in with those middle of the Chargers, where you're going, hey, they got a lot of strengths, but their weaknesses are costing them. And that's where it's weird, where it's like if the Men in Black, and they erased your mind, and you looked at it just this season, like they're not a division-leading team. They haven't played good enough to be that. And so that's where it's weird, where you're trying to think about the past, the good moments, and what this team has been able to do. And people, talk about, well, in 2023 they were 6-6 and all this stuff. But it's different. And David Edwards even said, we look at every year differently and how we stack up. And you can't always sit back and rest on the laurels of what you did in the past and thinking that you're going to flip the switch and all of a sudden be this team.
But the difference between the Bills and those teams is Josh Allen.
Yes.
And the reason this team needs to prioritize keeping him upright and trying to get him some help. And I know we're going to talk about that in a minute. By the way, can I add one other thing? I try to take credit sometimes. I'm just not as good at it as you are.
You're not.
I mean, I just flail away.
No one is as
at
good
it.
at
Like,
yeah.
I don't get separation, right? I really don't. I'll try to say it, and then I'm trying to pat myself
Are we going to
on
have
the
to
back.
bench you?
I don't know. Hey, you're just so good at it,
I'll coach
Dan.
you up.
All right, thanks.
You haven't missed meetings, so there's that.
That's true.
Okay, let's talk wide receiver. Obviously, Brandin Cooks signed by the Bills
Loved
to the
talking to him
active
today.
roster. Yeah, you got to have a moment.
He was great. I thought he was great. Well, I had a moment talking to him. Like, see, I relate to the veteran players. He's been around.
He's 32.
He's seen some shit, right? He has.
It is pretty remarkable when you look at all the places he's played.
Yeah, and he's played for great quarterbacks. He's played for Breeze. He's played for Brady.
Yeah.
Played for Dak a little bit, though he ended up because Dak was hurt one of those years. He's been around this league, and he's got good perspective. He came here because he wanted to play with 17.
Yep.
That's what he said. I mean, come on. When you're looking around this league, and it's a team that I don't know if you've heard any of this that might have a need for a player to step in.
Maybe.
All right, here it is.
Well, no, I thought social media was incredible yesterday. The people that, in hats off, and I don't know them off the top of my head, like the accounts, but them tweeting out
You're good.
the Brandin Cooks catching passes from Drew Brees, being like, I can't believe the NFL let Josh Allen have this guy. And then to read the comments, and people are like, yeah, it's Drew Brees from 2009. He's like, that's the joke. And my thing yesterday, and if you watch the emergency pod, I was speechless. And I'm not against, and I ended up getting in Twitter fights yesterday. Shocking. It wasn't about the fact of why not, because you're right, why not? I'm just not sold on the weapon that he can be for this offense. That's where I have the disconnect, where it's like people are saying, well, he could do this, he could do this. As I've said before, you can hope in one hand and shit in another and see which one fills up first. So this thought that Brandin Cooks is going to save this offense, I think is a little bit of wishful thinking. I think you have to be realistic for what this piece is for the offense. That's what I don't think I explained well when I said I had no words and I really had no care about the signing, because I think it's kind of a non-factor. Could it be something? I'd love to be proven wrong in this case. Somebody goes, watch him go out and catch 2 touchdowns on Sunday. That would be great. I would love to be cold takes exposed again for something like that. I just am not going to sit there and every time the Bills sign somebody, because it's Josh Allen, have this rose-colored sunglasses and go, watch this guy go now.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's the case.
I do think that's a little bit of a straw man, because I don't think people were saying that he's going to completely change. And if they were, then I don't think their opinion matters, if that makes sense, because where this team is at, the limitations on this roster and the limitations of what can be added to it at this moment, it makes sense to sign Brandin Cooks. Do I expect him to be a world beater, set the world on fire, any of those things? No, but I think you say, hey, desperate times call for desperate measures. Maybe he's got something. Let's add him.
I'm with you on that. I think anybody, and look, we go on social media, there's somebody who thinks he's going to be at 200 yards in a game.
Saints didn't use him correctly. Oh. Look who's throwing him the ball.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Right. Those are also contributing factors. There's somebody out there that's going to sign Elijah Moore and say the Bills didn't use him properly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care if he had Josh Allen, they weren't throwing him the ball. He wasn't activated. There may be something to that, right?
Yeah.
We'll see what he does in another place. I think there's something in between here. I don't believe he solves all problems. I think you are playing in a series of huge games. And huge games are about big moments. And there is nothing preventing a guy with his experience in this league to go out there and make a big play. Trent Sherfield had a chance to make a big play in a game. Nobody thought of him as some kind of great player. MVS with the Bills does nothing. Makes 2 huge plays for the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. I'm just saying with this guy's experience, he doesn't have to catch 10 balls for 120 yards. But he damn well could make that one play in a key game. That could be Sunday. It could be in Foxborough. It could be whatever. I have more confidence in him to be able to do it based on his history than I do in Tyrell Shavers or maybe even Gabe Davis. Those
Keon.
guys. He's got Keon. This man has 10,000 yards in his career. He is an accomplished player. He doesn't have to be play in, play out the guy that he was to help this team more than what they currently have on the roster. That's all I'm saying. He doesn't have to be great. He might be great in a couple of moments.
Yeah, I agree with some of your points. I will interject. Very wrong about MVS. Very wrong, right? Hand up, if you've been on this channel long enough, thought last year he would lead the Bills in receiving yards. Bad take. I was spot on about Elijah Moore. Insert clip.
See how good he is.
He's so good.
good.
Insert clip here. I haven't talked about Elijah Moore on Hard Knocks. Not that Hard Knocks makes
Well, I also
roster
think
decisions.
KJ Hamler is just like
Yeah.
magnetic in front of a camera.
I'm just saying. I'm waiting.
Do you think they cut him?
I'd lean towards yes.
Really?
Yeah. This is also coming from a guy, hand up, that was never on the Elijah Moore hype train in the beginning. I never understood it for a guy that, and let me just say this too. And this is whenever we
Who's
talk.
a hater?
No. But whenever we talk about, oh, Elijah Moore's had bad quarterback play, right? That's what we hear a lot. Hey, give him with Josh Allen. Now he's going to be great. Garrett Wilson was still pretty damn good with the same quarterback.
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy.
Well, it's
Jerry Jeudy had a massive year last year with the same quarterback. So don't always blame the quarterback for wide receiver production. It's the cop-out way where I'm sitting there going, if you're really good, you make plays.
I hear you. I definitely hear that. I think, can two things be true? Where you want more out of your quarterback play, but also it's on Elijah Moore to make the plays, to make up for the fact that his quarterbacks before this have been less talented?
If the offense, if nobody caught passes and they were, there was both of those wide receiver rooms that he was in weren't very good.
No.
And some guys balled out and Elijah Moore didn't.
Okay.
And that's why he's on his third team and whatever.
I hear what
Hand
you're
up,
saying.
again, this is just coming from a guy that was never on the hype train. I was never on the Elijah Moore hype train.
I will give you credit. You were not.
Yeah, I don't think that train had a lot of people, did it?
No, I feel like
social
that's
media,
I do think that's revisionist.
That's gaslighting.
I was just-
Well, I don't.
gaslighting.
Did we ever say it?
I do think that was
Not
a bit
Elijah
of
Moore.
revisionist history.
The Bills, he was a second-round pick. He was. Look at who his quarterbacks were in
See,
Cleveland.
I stand in the middle, but it's because I
That's
see
what I'm
both
saying.
sides.
Like, this was the thing where people, and that was
You
my
were
argument
gaslighting him.
That was such a gaslight.
Well, you were very excited. The poor man just got out of the building.
Apparently, he was liking tweets that they weren't using him correctly.
I did
He
see
probably
that. Yeah.
feels like that. He's gonna have a chip on his
Yeah.
shoulder going
But
to
they
the
were-
next
but-
place.
and he was the guy that asked out of New York, and they were like, "Oh, he's gonna come in here and he's gonna be
Yeah.
a great teammate." What's the expression? A lion doesn't change his stripes. Like,
Well,
leopard doesn't change his spots.
Okay,
That's
that's
it.
better.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
we're
tiger.
getting-
Yeah. You're,
By the way, I'm not critical of you for saying that. I just thought as the year went on, I didn't have very many expectations for Elijah Moore.
I had
But in
no
the
expectations
beginning-
when he was signed.
Yeah,
And
in the
this was right
beginning.
after Bean said, "Hey guys, bitching about a wide receiver is
Yes.
the dumbest thing ever." Signs Elijah Moore the next day. Like, this is where they're at. The Bills have a bottom 5 wide receiver room in the NFL.
No question.
Think about that. And we talked about it on the Buffalo Plus show that airs on TV, but Brandon Beane said it was a transition year when they moved on from Stephon Diggs 2 years ago. And it was the signing of Keon Coleman, and they brought in Matt Collins, and they didn't really improve it. So that's where it's frustrating to sit here and be struggling offensively. Is there anybody behind me?
no.
Okay. and sit there and go, they're a wide receiver room that's along with the Raiders, the Titans, the Browns, and other bad teams. If you can name 5 worst wide receiver rooms, drop them in the comments below. But I really don't think you can. And that's frustrating for me. So when there's the idea of bringing in Brandin Cooks and saying, well, why not? I guess I'm still just frustrated as the situation that I'm in.
You're
Yes,
100% right.
So that's where
Yeah.
that probably clouds my judgment
Yes.
of looking at it objectively when I'm going, how the bleep did we get here in the first place?
Yeah.
That in week 13 or 12 we're signing this guy.
13, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's frustrating me.
No,
And
that's fair.
that's where I'm left speechless, where everybody's going, hey, this might work. It might work. I'm not saying it can't, but this is a guy that his best years, Mike, to all that you say, are behind him.
Oh, no question.
So-
years. I'm talking about, the bar is low.
Yes.
And that's what's frustrating to
Oh,
me.
no doubt.
And maybe it is to you too. And that's where I feel like I was speechless, where I'm trying to compartmentalize the impact he can have while also realizing the spot that they're in with an offense that is trudging along in a passing game.
It's funny because Josh was saying after practice, like, his coach Bull had a saying, like, you dance with whom brought you. And Josh, like, talking about, like, where this team needs to be in this.
Yeah.
But that to me is not exactly a positive connotation. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Was he referencing, like,
Just like the offense in general. Like, you dance with who brought you, which
Yeah.
to me, I'm kind of like.
He said that before too.
He
Yeah.
has said that before. But to me, I was like, I don't know if I would take that in, like,
if you're talking about getting back to
as a
what
woman,
has
if it's
worked-
like, well, I'm going to dance with you because I brought you, you'd be like, well, I want you, if you don't want to
like
dance
to
with
dance.
me. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I
Honey,
would
do you
say-
want to go somewhere?
I would
If you
s-
want me to? No, I want you to want to.
Yes, I would say that it's about go to what your strengths are, what has gotten this team there. The problem was those strengths have been gone this year, certainly
Yeah.
in that type of passing game. And so, look, they're flailing a bit, right? When you're talking about bringing Gabe up from the practice squad, signing McCole Hardman, and now bringing in Brandin Cooks. So I
Feels
would
a
say,
little Murray Cooperish.
except you're
Okay,
getting
sorry.
him
Cooper
in
was-
December
I was gonna say,
too.
Cooper was a
that makes it
trade.
even worse.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
agree.
you are getting him in December. So it is spot duty. It is get him out on the field. I did talk to him a little
Yeah.
bit. I think he believes, and Josh even mentioned it, the guy's got the playbook already. He's a veteran. He's been around a lot. They would give him a package of plays, whether it's for this week, because you're not holding on. What are you waiting for? Another week?
By
I
signing-
think he's
yeah.
probably going to play.
I agree.
Yeah.
So we don't know about Keon. We don't know about anybody else.
I do
but-
think I'm trending more towards Keon playing,
I agree.
especially with Elijah Moore being cut.
Yeah, and here a quick soundbite of what Brandin Cooks had to say about what he expects to bring to the Bills.
Obviously, first and foremost, jump in here and be the best teammate I could possibly be. You feel that around here, that's what I'm about, right? Be a leader, but at the end of the day, come out here and remind people around this league that I'm still a playmaker, and that's my expectation. Go out there, make plays, be the best teammate I could possibly be, and let everything else take care of itself.
Everybody talks about your speed.
Yeah.
Where's your speed? I mean, where?
It ain't left. It hasn't left, I can tell you that much, but at the end of the day, not going to talk too much about that. Just going to continue to sharpen my blade, and when my number's called, show up.
Where's that speed, Mike? Where's that? That was a Dan Patrick question.
Yeah, I know.
Where's that speed? It ain't left.
It ain't left. That's what he said. So good for him. And it's all relative in terms of, like, if you timed him in the 40, maybe he was, I don't even know what his fastest time was, 4.3, whatever it was. Maybe he's 4.4.
Yeah.
But
Sean said he had good speed and knows how to use it in the position. He said some players are fast. They're not good wide receivers. He said he's a nice balance of both.
he does play predominantly on the outside.
Which-
Hallelujah.
yeah.
Somebody who knows that position and isn't being pushed out there. So I guess that's a positive. His experience is a positive.
Yeah, why not?
The question is Josh going to have time to throw Sunday? You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be get the ball out of his hands.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see some screen passes Sunday. Be ready.
I mean, that's
The Bills' offense is a mesh.
That's good. Now, I said it, but Dan stole it. He did it so effortlessly.
Yeah, it was
It's
pretty
so
good.
I have so much I can learn from Dan. I really can.
Hall of Famer.
the future.
Learn it from me. Learn from the
That's-
hot take king.
He's so good at it.
Okay, anything else? Oh, we should do player of the week, but anything before we get to that?
A little bit about Keon. He was running routes with Josh after practice. I thought that was a little bit of an encouraging sign. Josh said he hasn't lost any faith in him whenever his number's called. You talked to him for a little bit. I watched the interview. He seems very matter of fact.
Yeah.
Of just nothing I can control.
Just got to get out there. So we'll see.
I do want to know, you mentioned the after practice work. I felt like we saw a lot of players out here.
It did feel very much.
It felt like, and I like to see that. We talk about urgency and what this team has talked about, having the players get some extra work in while we're around. I think that's important. That's more than I've seen in the last couple of weeks. Now, we're not always in the building, so I don't want to discredit the work that is done after practice normally.
Yes.
But that was something to note from today.
You know what's wild? I was thinking about we're at training camp at St. John Fisher in July. And they're talking about reps and the important reps, and we got to get reps here and reps there. And now here we are sitting at the biggest games of the year, and the guys taking the most important reps may end up being guys like Jordan Poyer, right? Gabe Davis, Brandin Cooks, Shaq Lawson. Like, this is just the way it goes. And you mentioned it briefly. I want to say injuries for this team, yes, there could be some of the stuff with the soft tissue and all. They've had a lot of other injuries, knees, elbows, shoulders,
toes.
Concussions.
Sorry, we just were naming. Head,
Shoulders,
knees,
and toes. You're going to sing the song? So, that's not about the training staff. They can't do anything about a poor player getting a concussion.
Yeah.
And it is a violent game, and things do happen sometimes.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get a more of an update on some of these players as the week goes on.
All right, we had Picasso's pizza today.
Delicious.
Really
it's very
tasty.
good.
Wings.
Yeah, I love the pizza, the cup and char,
Cup and char.
Yeah.
the
Pepperoni.
corner piece.
best.
It
Always
was a
the
good,
corner.
yeah,
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
change up too before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yes.
You went back for seconds.
So did Dan.
I did.
Don't be clocking
Well,
my
There
moves.
wasn't a green thing
You're
on my
sitting
plate.
right
There was
next
a
to
salad.
me.
Oh,
there.
I did get a salad.
Didn't even touch it.
I actually ate the salad.
I
too.
said to you, fake salad on the
But
plate.
I've
Put
been
it on
trying to
there.
eat the real salad. Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I just use it for decoration.
Can I go first on the play?
Picasso's player of the week.
I'm going Connor McGovern.
Oh.
His job is so important. It's always important as the center.
Mm-hmm.
But to get this line ready, we don't know as we're recording this. I guess it could be Dion and Spencer Brown. I don't think maybe either one of them play, but we will see. He's going to have guys who either aren't used to playing that many snaps or certainly maybe even out of position, depending on who plays there, in a loud environment and with a tough defense, at least defensive line that can get after it, even though they haven't been great. TJ Watt is out there. So I think McGovern's got a lot on his plate for Sunday.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was thinking while Mike was talking.
I got it then.
Okay.
I got two, so I'll give half. Each
Okay.
get a half.
Okay, wait. Offense, defense, both.
Both offense.
Both offense. Okay.
Dawson Knox
Ooh, okay.
and Ty Johnson. Both of those guys are going to have to do a little bit more in pass protection. Those are going to have to be the guys that are staying in to chip TJ Watt and those edge rushers and that pass rush, which, again, I don't think the Steelers are that good. At times, they have been very mediocre at best on their pass rush. But without both tackles, I think there's going to be an added effort by Joe Brady to give help to whoever is starting at tackle in that game. So I think it's going to be Dawson Knox as well as Ty Johnson getting a lot of snaps because he is a better pass protector than James Cook.
Okay, my player, I'll go the other side of the ball. I'll do your boy, Greg Rousseau.
Oh.
Do we know?
Numbers are good.
Pandering to the boss.
Numbers are good.
What, is he going to give me a raise? No.
What
I
is
just
he?
think
Fourth in pressure rate. He's tied with Micah Parsons, fourth in the league.
yeah, so
is that the Catalan analytics?
this is
Analytics?
I'm just reading it on the
so
internet.
Greg
It's
has
gotta
had
be true.
yeah, seriously. So I saw that tweet. Mike showed me it, pointed it out
Very
to me,
exciting.
then pointed it out to me again. But let's see some
This
stats
is why she was
to
going
go
back
with
for
that.
more pizza.
Yeah, to deal with that. But we know Greg. I just want to see some of the finishing on these plays. Do we know if is it going to be Mason Rudolph? Is it going to be Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah,
On
and-
Wednesday here, we don't know. But either way,
Rodgers is like, not today.
It's so classic Rodgers.
Yeah.
This is, I'm going to blow up my Achilles and I'll be back in 4 months.
let me throw passes on the sidelines
Yeah.
before a game.
Like,
I think he plays.
I don't think he plays.
No?
I don't think he plays either.
And I also don't think it matters. I think they run the same exact offense, and the quarterback level is very even at this point in Rodgers' career.
I'm not willing to say that. I think there's obviously more of an upside with Rodgers. I think it's just some of the pace, some of the throws. But I hear you where at this level in his career, it's obviously a step down from what he's been.
The Bills and Joe Brady have been criticized a lot this season for their predictability.
Sorry.
If you think the Bills' offense is predictable, the Steelers are like, hold my beer. Because I'll say right now, First play of the game is a dive for 2 yards. Then they're going to run a toss to the outside. That's going to go for 3 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 5. They're going to throw a pass to the tight end, whichever one, in the flat.
2 yards short of the first
It's going to
down.
be 4 yards, and it's a matter of if he's tackled before the sticks or if he gets the first down.
And then what do they do on 4th down?
They punt.
They punt.
they
Yeah, I
punt.
would say.
This is a 2 yard, a 3 yard, and then a 4 yard play and a punt on opening series.
I think you do have to give, when you look at, because you know that Mike Tomlin and
Get
Sean
outta
McDermott,
here.
they
Do
went
they
to
know
college.
each other?
They went to college.
Next, you're going to tell me Fitz was at Harvard.
No
he
kidding.
was. Unbelievable stuff. But I think
Yeah.
Sean has done a good job of evolving.
Chris
Yes.
Hogan played lacrosse.
And so, as soon as you said Fitzpatrick
Yeah.
Harvard, I'm like, damn it, I need.
Yeah, I couldn't think of the next one. It was Chris Hogan.
But that being said, I think you got to give credit to Sean. You've seen him evolve on 4th down in particular, whereas you see Tomlin a lot of times.
A lot of times. Forever.
Yeah.
Decades.
Yeah.
He loves to punt the ball.
That man
I was
loves-
being
so excited.
generous.
Why?
Oh, I forgot my
That's fair.
analogy. Can I
Oh,
put my analogy in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bills wide receiver room, and this is perfect for tomorrow or Thursday, whenever you're watching this, is like pumpkin pie.
Oh.
It sounds good in theory when it's out there, but it only is out there like at a holiday. No one really chooses this at other times. So when I look at their wide receiver room, people go, oh, Elijah Moore. And I'm even saying, oh, Brandin Cooks.
Curtis
oh,
Samuel.
Oh, pumpkin pie. 350 other days of the year, you wouldn't be out choosing that,
Turkey.
right?
Actually, that might be better.
Well, I was only thinking pumpkin pie because there's many pies that are better than pumpkin pie.
All of them, yeah.
Okay, so
I was gonna say.
But on Thursday, somebody's going to come in. Oh, I got the pumpkin pie. Everybody gets excited
It's a
until
vegetable.
they taste the pumpkin pie, and then they go, okay, give me something else the next time. That's the way I've looked at this room. The whole time it's like people, oh, well, Keon, oh, well, maybe he'll fit.
Is
oh,
that your
whatever
baseball
it is.
analogy too?
No.
No.
You said you had a baseball analogy.
No,
I
he
thought.
said he had a food analogy.
Food.
Food.
That was the food
So if you want to
analogy.
go with turkey, like turkey, yes, maybe. That's probably more optimistic. But I was thinking pumpkin pie because everyone's going to get excited about it on Thursday. And then you got to fill it up with other stuff to make it good.
Yeah.
Like whipped
Cool it,
cream
yeah.
or something.
Yeah,
Throw it on
cinnamon
top.
on top.
Like next Tuesday,
I don't
are
like
you
it.
ordering pumpkin
No,
pie somewhere?
I don't even eat pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go.
Chocolate pie.
Sorry. I'm not
Duh.
even as good at the analogies. I am struggling today.
Oh my gosh. All
I had my
right.
day yesterday.
Um,
Saved all my words.
we want to remind people to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And then also, if you need a gift for this upcoming holiday season, check out the Buffalo Plus store, buffaloplusstore.com.
Yeah.
Got some really cool stuff with Starter, a collab. We have some great, we had the Letterman jacket that I wore. A lot of people were a fan of. That's also up there.
We are on Snapchat. No,
I was just saying.
we are on.
I was like, we are?
We are on TikTok,
TikTok.
Instagram,
Yes.
Twitter as well.
Okay, Belichick.
Yeah.
Instaface.
Because when
Snapface.
we mentioned that the one day, we got a ton of new followers on the TikTok. So be sure to.
How about the Instagram that Dan controls?
We
Yes.
both don't have access to.
Jen and I got blocked out
Okay,
somehow.
that leads me segue into shout out to Ramon. There have been a
Is
lot
he
of.
going to help us get the Instagram
I don't know.
account going?
Yeah,
But
what?
People DM us on the Instagram account, and it goes into like the request folder, so you don't see the notifications
yeah.
for messages. We went back like a few months ago. Somebody wanted us to do a gender reveal
Oh,
for their
geez.
kid.
Yeah.
So I
Sorry.
felt terrible. Another people, they listen in somewhere in between Spain and another country, and they're like, "We love you guys. My wife's from Buffalo. We're coming in. Do you guys have a live show this upcoming
Oh.
week?" I messaged him. He sent me a voice memo back this morning. So shout out to Ramon. We'll try and get something together.
Yeah.
But just appreciate it. And if I
Yeah.
don't see these comments right away, I got to do a better. I have to. I want to say we.
We can't.
I'm the
I
only
was
one
say,
apparently
yeah.
that can do
Locked
it.
Yeah.
Those requests.
Okay. We love it. Okay. We
I
hope
see one, I'm like,
everyone
that's from
has
3 months ago.
a wonderful Thanksgiving, healthy, happy, with the people you love, all that great stuff.
We are thankful for you.
We are really thankful for you. For Mike and Dan, I am Jenna. Thank you so much for watching Buffalo Plus, presented by yours, your love,
Nice
your
save.
support,
Nice save.
your everything. We'll catch you next time.